Yo, what is up, 24/7 BF? This is Sunday Sessions, 11:30 a.m. in the morning. That's right, an hour and a half before kickoff, the rare 1 p.m. kickoff. For the last home game of the season. You're tuned into Sunday Sessions. We go over all of the inactives as soon as they break. We give you our hot takes and answer your questions, comments, all that sort of great stuff. The panel that you see before you is, as such, below me, the smoothest, silkiest voice in Bills podcasting, the content creator that'll make you crave some of that smooth, silky jazz, baby. That's my boy, Ryan Thomas. RT, what's up, buddy?
That was a fantastic intro. They always are, but that one got better than even last week. So each week it's getting better. Another day, as you mentioned, Swank, and Scott knows this. I love my 1 o'clock Sunday games. Mm-hmm. Really pumped up for this one at Old Orchard, as Julian Edelman calls it. Really excited to break down this game. Divisional matchup. They always matter, despite us already clinching the playoffs. Love to stick it to the Jets each chance we can.
That's right. Stick it right to the Jets all the time. And Aaron Rodgers and Anyway, right next to me, my brother from another mother. He's got another brother, but that brother's not in the panel today. He joins us Tuesdays. This is the brother, Scooter Magooter. Scott, what do you got today, buddy?
High five, slap hands, slap hands.
You're on the wrong side.
Oh, okay.
It's over here.
Over here?
Yeah, there you go.
What's up, Bills Mafia? RT and Swank. Yeah, 1 o'clock games. I've already got my chores done. Got food coming. Jared's actually coming to this game with the fam, so we get to watch with the family. Nice. So
sweet.
We're trying out new wings. Big Shot Bob's out of Canandaigua. They're brand new. So I can't wait to test them out. And it's a franchise, I think. So can't wait to. They have a whole bunch of different kinds. They got Josh Allen wings. So we'll see.
Big Shot Bob's.
Yeah,
Big Shot Bob's.
Yep.
It's some dudes that we went to high school with. I think they bought into a franchise that was from down south. We were just talking about right before you popped on here.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
They just opened up in Canandaigua, which is down the road, not too far from Scooter Magoot. So
yep. Hit them up.
Cool. Hit them up. See what's up. Cool. We'll get the review after the game.
Yeah.
Don't let the game decide how good the wings taste. You know what I mean?
Is it just me, or do you find yourselves going on Google a time or two and just looking at pictures of wings themselves?
Just flats, dude.
Flats, drums. Yeah. I'll take them either way.
I wouldn't say I go search, but if it's on one of my reels or something like that, and then I just
recommends
click on it,
spot, right? You gotta look it up, gotta see what they look like, you know?
Yeah.
The algorithm demands, dude, that it knows what you want, and it'll show you wings. All those, flats or curves, whatever you like.
I love it.
Fellers, the inactive list just came out. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell the 206 of you that are tuning in currently. We are part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Super proud to be. Also sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Give them all your money. See what Del Reed and the gang got cooking up. You look the flyest you've ever looked in your whole life, and you'll help out a family in Western New York. And that's a win to the 300th power. Just do it. 26 Shirts. It's a good time.
Squared.
This list right here. Oh man, I forgot to grab a drink. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, I think it looks better than last week. I'll throw these names out here, and then we'll get you guys' take on it. Guys, hit us up in the comments. Don't forget to share it around to your granny and your kids and your weird coworker and all those guys.
Just shared to my weird
everywhere. There you go. First inactive on this list, wide receiver Curtis Samuel is out today. I don't know if that's too much of a surprise, but a bigger name. This next guy's the biggest name to me. Damar Hamlin is out again. After that, we have cornerback Kyer Elam is inactive, which I don't think is a surprise to many people, but we'll talk about it. Linebacker Nick Morrow, tackle Tylen Grable, defensive tackle Austin Johnson, and safety Lewis Sine. So, out of all these here peoples, what's it mean? What don't it mean? How you feeling? RT, tee us off here. What do you got?
Kind of more of the same of last week a little bit, just with the secondary. That's a huge focus of mine. I think last week kind of showed that, the secondary is a little banged up right now, but at the same time, first statement that Josh Allen made after the game, I think, was pretty telling. We've kind of talked about it each week. This is a really long season. It's a longer regular season in the history of football. You know what I mean? In terms of them expanding, going 18 weeks, regular season games. A lot of these teams already have their berths pretty much locked up. We know who's going to be in the playoffs. We just don't know the exact seeding. That's what's on the line for Buffalo today. So they don't want to get too many guys that are already banged up, more banged up heading into the playoffs, because unlike the narrative, Josh Allen is not playing for the MVP. He's playing for the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP. That's just the cherry on the sundae. So that's what Buffalo's playing for. That's why certain guys are out yet again. And I think they'll continue to be as long as they need to be, right? For as long, take as much time as you need. We don't need to get this team banged up more against a Jets team that, let's face it, they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder today, playing a little bit dirty, as they're known to do a time or two against the Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots. So no surprises, really, on my end.
I like it. I'm feeling pretty similar to that. But before I bring in my 2 cents, Scooter, what do you think of this list, man?
Well, it looks like the offense is par for the course, which I'm okay with. I'm dubbing this game, guys, the dress rehearsal game, because I think if we come out with a victory, we actually have our bye week next week. So offense, I think we look good. That means, I guess, with the inactives, Taylor Rapp is playing, Matt Milano's playing. So it seems like everybody in our defense is back except for DeMar Hamlin. Rasul Douglas is back. That's why Kyrie Elam's inactive. So again, I'm glad to have these guys back. Bishop and Rapp, I think, are going to be potentially what we see going forward throughout the playoffs and even further than that. But at dress rehearsal, this defense needs to show up. The Jets offense has nothing to lose. The team has nothing to lose. So they're going to bring everything. So we better be ready.
Yes, sir. They're trying to play spoiler of sorts. We can lock up the 2 seed this week or next week with a win. It'd be nice just to do it this week. As my boy Scooter mentioned, if they lock it up, you can treat next week as the bye, and then it's no harm, no foul. Rest who you want to rest. Knowing McDermott and the way he operates, I'm sure that the starters will go through everything like they're starting, even if they did rest next week, and probably at least play a series. So don't worry about them getting rusty or anything like that. But I think the best thing to do is to go out, put up your numbers, do your deal, and then get ready for the playoffs. That's where I'm heading. It is a bummer that DeMar is out still. It's also a bummer that Curtis is out still. I think, like you guys were saying, it's nothing more than rest for the postseason at this point. I bet you Curtis could probably go. DeMar, I don't know how serious he's banged up at this point. But I know that he was limited for the last couple of weeks. It looked like he was leaning towards a full participant this week. So who knows? But, get these guys rested up. Get them in there when they're fresh. I love it. And the rest of these names. I mean, Kyrie Elam's not going to be on this roster next year. I think he's done. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. New York's inactives. I was looking at that. We got corner Jarek Bernard Converse, he is out. Edge Braden McGregor, Anders Carlson, kicker, safety Jalen Simpson, corner Kendall Sheffield, and corner Quantez Stiggers.
Sounds like you're making up a bunch of names.
I was. I didn't even read it. No. Yeah, that's the list. Nobody I know. But I don't really, aside from Sauce and a couple Williamses and a Rodgers, I don't know anybody on the Jets anyway.
Right. Quinnen Williams had a hamstring injury. Sauce, hamstring. Devontae Adams had a hip. So those guys, I think, were all questionable. They're all playing.
Yeah, they had like 10 questionable. At the beginning of the week, Aaron Rodgers was questionable. So, right. I don't know. So, yeah, it'll be the normal suspects, and they'll be coming in, and they want to put a little speed bump in our whole process here. So, let's talk about it a little bit, guys. 328 of you tuning in. Got a bunch of comments. Appreciate all you guys chiming in with the quick little tight package that we do here for Sunday sessions. It's hard to get to all of you guys in the comment sections, but know that we see you and we love you and you want you to keep going. I try to throw up all of them while we go. Let's talk a little bit about what our Bills defense has to do today. A lot of people were a little shook with how that Patriots game went last week. I'll argue to the death that a win is a win. We had half our starters out. Whatever, another team that's nothing to lose, whatever. But I did watch that game yesterday with the Patriots, and I gotta say, they did not look as good against the Chargers as against the Bills. So, and it's a division opponent, blah blah. Scooter, what do you need to see from this Bills defense today against a division opponent here, going towards the end of the season?
Well, again, going back to the Patriots game, even the Jets game and next week's Patriots game, they're divisional games. Mark Maddox tells us all the times that those are the hardest ones to prepare for, and those are actually the hardest games to play. So I'm going to stick the cap in that feather in that cap and go with that because I believe that wholeheartedly. The Jets, what this defense has to do, is that what you're asking, Swank? I think Bobby Babich, I'm answering my own question here. I'm doing Jared. Bobby Babich has to decide because Milano's playing, Bernard is playing, Dorian Williams is playing. This is playoff time. This is, like I said, a dress rehearsal. We need to figure out what defensive linebackers are going to be the ones he's committing to. So I want to see a commitment to what this defense is going to look like. I know it's against the Jets, but I want to see what kind of defense we're going to bring to the table in the playoffs. What kind of rotation we have in the defensive line. Are we committing to it? And again, that big linebacker play. We have 3 good linebackers that can all play in the nickel, and you can only play 2 of them. So let's figure that out. But stopping Breece Hall definitely is one of those things. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. And obviously Rodgers, he's going to sling it because they got nothing to lose. So our defensive backs have to keep their P's and carrots intact here. P's and Q's.
Yes. Yeah. Dot I's, cross T's. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. You don't have to trail off. That was great. You're fine.
I have a bunch of kids here, so it's P's and carrots, right?
I like it, man. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more continuity. I don't know. What do you think, RT? What do you got? What's the deal have to do today?
Well, oddly enough, the opponent is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, of course. And I say oddly enough because the timing is kind of unique to last week's game. You brought it up, Swank. They didn't look the way that you wanted them to. They're playing a quarterback that I think is a lot better than what people are giving him credit for in Drake May. I think he's got a lot of talent. Doesn't have the tools around him yet. So something to keep our eyes out on for the future in these off-season podcasts. The Patriots will have a lot of money to spend in this off-season, so they should be better next year. And just as the Patriots are getting younger and better, the Jets got the oldest quarterback in the league in Aaron Rodgers that we're playing 1 week later. Not only is he trying to get 500 career passing touchdowns, but if the Bills sack him 4 or 5 times today, he'll be the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. So that's what Buffalo has to key in on defensively, I think, today. The Jets are banged up all over their offensive line. Very talented tackle that they drafted this past draft is out for the season in Olu Fash now, who I really liked coming out of the draft, and it's good timing that he's banged up at the very least for Buffalo to expose that. And for the Jets all season long, I've dealt with the frustrations of the Jets run offense with Breece Hall and in other leagues, the K-Gun League. I traded him to Scott. I was like, you know what? I had to make something happen to shake things up a little bit. He just wasn't the investment this year that the Jets thought he would be. So much so that they've kind of split 50-50 within their backfield, which is something to keep our eyes out on today. But to be honest with you, I think this is a game, Swank, that you should really be salivating over. I know you love to see quarterbacks get hit, especially Aaron Rodgers. This should be one where Buffalo should be able to pressure and get to the quarterback that is Aaron Rodgers, who is older, slower, doesn't quite move in the pocket as well as he did, 2-3 years ago. And that Achilles injury didn't help. So that's my take. Got to get to Aaron Rodgers. Groot and company got to get after it today.
I love it. I will tell you something, man. I've been ringing the bell for that one all damn season, and it seems as though they've been stuck on these 4-man pressures all the way up until this last week, where they were going after Drake May. And you know what? They were making me look a little dumb because Drake was putting up balls on him, and
he can move in the pocket though.
Yeah, I know.
He's got the young wheels. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I still, I'll stand by it, man. Even if you have an athletic quarterback, if you put some pressure on them in their face, there's only 3 guys in the league right now that can do that kind of stuff and move and still make plays. And we got one of them on our team. So
Swank, in your defense, my friend, Drake May and the Patriots like to utilize their tight end. So when you bring a blitz, the tight end usually is the one that's open.
First guy to go
does all that stuff.
Yeah.
This could be different. This could be a different story. They could do the same thing and wreak havoc.
Well, and this is where I'm going with that is that, this is what I said the last time they played Aaron Rodgers. He's an old man. He's in the pocket. He's banged up. He barely even wanted to play 2 years ago when he came to New York, and then he got hurt. Send it in his face. Get him. He's been really frustrated this year with not only his level of play, but the team's level of play. He's basically took over as GM and head coach and restructured the whole thing top to bottom and screwed it up. Get in the old man's face, man. Put him on the ground. At least shove him around. He's an old body. I was joking around with my buddies here last week. I was like pissed off because the last time they played the Jets, I'm like, this old man Rodgers, and then I looked it up and he's younger than I am. So,
he looks like about 10 years older though, don't he?
Oh, he sure. I hope so. Yeah, but no, man, he just like. You sit there and you get wrapped up in like, I've watched this guy play for so long and blah, blah. You don't realize like, oh, Jesus, like 40, like 41. All right. But yeah, I think pressure, that's the key. I want to see that. I want to see them I'd love to see them successfully get home with 4. That would be fine. That would absolutely be fine. I just want to see them do it. So I know that they can do it against these teams like the Broncos, like, the Bengals, like any of these teams, the Chargers, any of these guys that we're potentially going to see week 1. I want them to show that they can do it. And if they can't do it, I want to at least see the adjustment to where, okay, now we're blitzing and now we're getting home at least enough to get some pressure on this guy to make it worth the sacrifice of that player. Right. Mm-hmm. I need to see some of that. So that's all I'm looking for today. The Kyer Elam thing, man, we were talking about shuffling more man here and there. And Kyer Elam, damn him, man, he just screwed my whole take right up. Had to have the game he had. And it's a bummer. And like I said, I think that's a nail in his casket. I think he's done. But we'll see. We'll see what these coverage and schemes look like and who's out there, what personnel. Like I said, the linebacking thing's super interesting. Dorian Williams was, man, his timing last week was out of control. Mm-hmm. He was hitting right. Oh my God. Right as the ball was getting snapped, he's crossing that dude is going to be special. And yeah, I guess it's a good problem to have, right? 3 really good linebackers in it, but what do you do? How do you get them involved?
You got to commit to one. Swank and RT real quick. Make it quick. Kyer Elam, what do you think we get for him? He is on contract till 2026. What would you be okay with getting for him?
I tend to believe I could be losing my mind here, but I tend to believe that they're going to hold him. I don't think there's anything that they could get for him that they would deem worthy based upon the investment. And honestly, I think that he could. There is still a chance that he could. I could be wrong here, but I think there is still a chance that he could turn it around here better than he could anywhere else. Like this is his best chance to blossom. I know it hasn't happened yet, and I think the mistakes that he made last week were more mental errors. One of which I thought was a really weak call that should not have been called as a PI.
The first one, yeah.
One, yeah. It's just like rolling my eyes. I'm at a point now where you watch more. We watch a lot of football. We watch Bills games every week. I don't know what a catch is anymore. I don't know what pass interference is anymore. I don't know what holding is. Holding has been terrible in terms of some of the calls in these Bills games, especially that I've seen going against Spencer Brown. He's just finishing his block and they call holding. I just, some of it is a little bit of that. Some of it is a little bit of mental errors, trying to do too much, where if he just stuck to his game, the game that made him a first round pick in the first place, I think he could still be a really good player.
I hear you, dude. And I think that's what happens, right? Is this is kind of a special scenario where usually players get frustrated or stuck in a rut at another team and then come into Buffalo and then show you how good they are, show you where their ceiling is. He's been drafted into a system that I think they tried to convert him to what they want to fit because they liked his physical attributes and they liked his personality, and it just hasn't connect. At times it's connected, but not enough for a first rounder that's been on the team now. Is this his third season now?
Third season.
Third season. Yep. So I think for me, man, I've been wanting it to work out. I've been wanting it to be right. I just think right now I think he's a waste of a roster spot, and I think I'd take anything up to and exceeding like a fifth for him, to be honest. And it's just no shade on him. I really do, man. I really want him to. I would love for him to be just like, oh my God, this is what it is, and snap into it. I've lost faith 3 seasons in. I think we need somebody better depth wise, especially with the way Bernard or Benford's come on, and you got Douglas. What are you going to do with him? Like, there's just a lot of question marks there, and it's a bummer. But yeah, that's me. I'd say if you get anything like that for him, I'd get him out of town.
Swank, this will be ideal for you. So you'd like this one. Cleveland runs man defense the most in the NFL. So
sure, great. Let's go trade for Garrett right now. Yep. Yeah,
I would love to see some sort of
straight up.
They're money issues.
First rounders.
They've got money issues, and they'd be able to get Elam for another 2 years on his rookie contract. Trade. Get him to Cleveland. They run man all the time. We'll take something from them.
I think Cleveland's gonna have money issues for a while. So they no one deserves it more than they do with the stupid Deshaun Watson. You could rework that contract 10 times over, and it was still one of the worst deals ever made.
Why rework it? The guy hasn't done anything there. So now he wants to secure his roster spot. So he's like, hey, look, I'll loosen it up a little bit for you. How much is he gonna lose? $250 million guaranteed. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, let's do a Bobby Bonita contract. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
extend it out.
Shohei Ohtani deferred money, $700 million. Like, he's got an endorsement with New Balance. Well, Deshaun Watson doesn't have an endorsement with anybody.
No,
that's never gonna happen.
No. So Lidoderm massage creams.
Yeah, Watson needs to partner up with whoever AB's PR people are, because that dude has rebounded his crazy into an empire that I've never seen before.
He's channeled his dragon energy for sure.
All right, let's go. It's 11:53. I can see us going over again today. Why not? Who cares? We are part of the Buff Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. See what Down the Gang got going on over there. I'm sure they got some holiday overflow specials and stuff like that. Check it all out. It's a good time. Let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. And who did I start with? I do this every week. Why do I do this? I never do this on the K-Gun.
I think you did start with Scooter last.
Scooter, okay. I got you then. Yeah. RT, what do you got for our offense today? What do you want to see from our offense?
Honestly, I want to see James Cook get that record. I want to see James Cook. Yeah, I want to see James Cook, take away a record from a Buffalo Bills great. I think, we can say that. We could throw that out there. Sure. Maybe not off the field after the career was over, but on the field, one of the best running backs of all time. So for James Cook to take the record away for most single rushing touchdowns in a season that's shared by OJ Simpson and Josh Allen, they were right there neck and neck last year. Just goes to show you how potent this offense has been the last few seasons, really since Josh Allen got here and beyond. But James Cook has been a big part of that. I have been, in this heated debate with a buddy of mine, Eric, who is worried that the Bills are not going to be able to extend James Cook when that time comes. I would be stunned if there was any scenario in which James Cook didn't remain a Buffalo Bill for the next 5 years once his contract is up. I feel like he's a huge part of this offense, far more than what he has even been given credit for. This is his career year. I want to see Buffalo run the football. I think they got the best running back room, arguably, in the league. I love Ray Davis. You guys know I was pounding that drum, prior to the season starting. He's been pretty solid for us in a few, spot start games here and there. And Ty Johnson, pass catching running back that I think Josh Allen has just, loved to get the ball to out in the flat. He can run routes. He can run deep routes. I want to see them utilize all three running backs in today's game. keep Rodgers off the field, make him look as miserable as he's ever looked, which is a really tough feat this season.
Yeah, man, wow. That's probably the hardest thing you've mentioned so far. I like it, man. I like it. Scoot, what do you think, man? What do you want to see from the offense today?
Piggybacking, I know the Jets are going to bring the pressure like they always do. They're a decent defense, and they do know how to create scenarios where they can get to the quarterback. Best way to have Josh Allen be healthy after today and going into their bye week next week, if they win this week, is to keep him off his butt. So get those running backs involved. Joe Brady, keep your foot on the gas, do the swing passes, do the screens. Just make sure that you give James Cook enough touches running wise that he reaches the 1,000-yard mark. I think that'd be a great feat for him this year. He's 72 yards away. And if you want to tag along the 3 touchdowns he needs for the record, do it up. But Joe Brady, hone in on the running backs this week. I think that's what we need to do.
I like it. For me, I just want to see a nice, solid game. Again, I feel like this is a team that, even though they give us fits, we should be able to pretty easily do our thing against them, play our game, and come out on top without any sort of worries. I don't know. I'm not even looking for anything exciting. I just, Josh can throw for 250, 2 touchdowns, a couple rushing touchdowns to the backs. I'm all good, man. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that. So just nice, consistent play. Maybe get Keon involved a little more. We're running into playoff season here, and I'd like to see him get some targets and get more acclimated since he's been out and comfortable, I guess. Even at some contested balls, just get him in there and get him hit, get him with his hand on some, and let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's about it. I did want to bring up with you guys, man, because I watched the games yesterday, the AFC games yesterday. Joe Burrow is a fantastic talent. He said in his press conference after the game that the Bengals are the best offense in the NFL right now. With all this MVP talk and everything, almost have muted the words MVP, Lamar, Josh Allen, and then I realized I wouldn't be able to get any sort of X tweets, whatever I wanted.
You had no feed without it.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally no feed
nothing.
At all. Yeah, nothing.
Zero. Yeah. But with all that and Burrow's name sneaking in, well, what about Burrow from all the Bengals fans? How can you have a 500 team and then sit there and tell me that you have the best offense in football? And with that mindset, why are you talking about having the best offense in football when this is a team sport? I've never heard Josh Allen once talk specifically about the offense unless it was in we need to do this better light. Mm-hmm. It's always been about the team.
Or complimenting the guys.
Yes.
Right? Ty Johnson's the best third down back in the league, or
sure.
Jimbo is running like a bat out of hell.
Players for sure.
Yeah.
I've never, if Josh Allen, even with the record they have right now, sat there and said, we have the best offense in football, he would get crucified. Well, he'd be shocked. He'd never do it.
Yeah,
he'd be crucified.
Right.
Joe Burrow sitting at 500 is sitting there saying they have the best offense in football. It blows my mind. That kind of thing, I think, and that's what separates Josh Allen from a lot of other quarterbacks in the league, is where he is not thinking about his individual stats like you opened the show with, right? He's not thinking about getting that MVP. He's thinking about a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that way he's not thinking about his offense as the whole team. He's thinking about the team and what they have to do to play complementary football and all those little buzzy words that us as content creators seem to harp on when they get brought up, but matter.
So, yeah. Two things, guys. Joe Burrow has 150 more pass attempts than Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. He actually leads the league in pass attempts. So keep throwing the ball. I mean, this is like Marino stats. You can get all the accolades, all the stats you want, 40 touchdowns, whatever. You're not winning games. And if it wasn't for the defense yesterday, if it wasn't for the defense shutting out Bo Nix and that in overtime, 3 times they stopped Bo Nix in overtime, they would not be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So and hey, that's a tough feat because Bo Nix can play too.
He was impressive when he was
very
on
impressive.
Yesterday.
Holy shit, he's good.
Very good. Yeah, he's going to be good. It's exciting. see some of these younger guys step up like that, and even Drake May, man, as much as I don't want to say it, I mean, I'm hating the Josh Allen comparisons. I'm really hating it because none of these quarterbacks has stepped up into that shadow to become the kind of player that Josh Allen is yet. And I think all of that kind of like lowers Josh Allen's bar a little bit, right? I think some of this is said so that it's like, well, what Josh Allen does is obtainable by all of these younger people that are coming in, when really he's the model that everybody wants for their team. But anyway, sorry, that was a little, just went off on a little thing there. Yeah, that bugged me. The Burrow thing bugged me.
There's a lot to that. I do tend to think that he looks at this season and says, if the ball bounced our way here, if the ball bounced our way there, every team can do that. Buffalo can do that. Buffalo could be, with one loss. The only real loss I think that they had this year was against Baltimore. The other ones, ball bounce here, ball bounce in there. Yeah. So every team could do that. And a little bit of it is, I think, maybe riling up the guys to try to say, hey, what the hell? We got Jamar Chase, we got T. Higgins, we got Chase Brown. We got a better offensive line than what they've had in previous years. I still think it's pretty susceptible, but better than previous years. I was watching a game a few weeks back. I didn't even realize Cody Ford was their starting guard. Yeah. And that was a guy that Buffalo let go of, 3-4 years ago. So their offensive line is definitely not where it needs to be. And that's what
they are part of the offense, right?
Yes,
they are. And that's, I was looking up that stat because they allowed 7 sacks yesterday. Yep. Well, the best offense in the NFL.
CJ Stroud laid a total egg against Baltimore, and he comes out and says that, and it was a massive slip on his part, but he's like, the offensive line and the defensive line can win and lose you a game. And he's like, oh no, they can win you a game. They can't lose. Yeah. No, they can lose you a game. Yeah, they really can. They could if you can't pressure the quarterback. Defensively, it's going to be a long day. If you can't protect your quarterback, it's going to be a long day. So, I think that's why Buffalo's record is where it's at, offensively and defensively, because of their offensive defensive line. And those are the guys that get the watches and the PS5s and the, presents from their quarterback for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, Purdy gave his lineman Tacomas. Toyotas.
So. Yeah, and Goff gave his Yetis with steaks in them, I think.
But real quick, ball bouncing the wrong way. The Chiefs would not be in the playoffs if the ball bounced the opposite way.
Yeah, that's true.
They wouldn't even. They would be a top 10 pick, top 5.
Yeah, and Nick Wright would be talking about like, oh well, every quarterback has a down season, and blah blah. Guys, great conversation going on in the comments. Thank you so much. We got a couple minutes left here. RT's got to go grab himself some pregame food. Let's go ahead and we'll hit X Factor and a score prediction. And Scooter, we'll start with you, buddy. What's your X Factor and score prediction for today?
Cold in Orchard Park. X Factor for me, guys, is turnovers and penalties. The Jets are going to bring some crazy stuff. They got nothing to lose. They're going to go for it on 4th down, do trickery stuff. Just don't get caught up in the penalties and the turnovers, and we'll be all set. That's the X Factor. Whoever comes out on top in those categories will win this game. Score prediction 35-20. Power the O's. Buffalo Bills offense looks good. Defense, late touchdowns. I think we finally do see what this defense is going to look like going into the playoffs.
Like it. RT, hit me with your X Factor and your score prediction, please.
My X Factor, I think, is this Bills defense. I think last week they held it down when they needed to the most. I think that's a safe assessment to say. Even against the Patriots, there was some trials, tribulations the first half, we could say, but the second half, things kind of turned itself around. They kept it close, but the defense really did show up towards the tail end of that game. I think this defense is going to come out, home crowd, day game, finally. More so of a day game than last week, I should say. They're going to come out with a big chip on their shoulder. This is a bitter rivalry. Don't forget, when the Jets were on Hard Knocks and Aaron Rodgers was getting glazed, as the kids say these days, they put photos of Von Miller and Bills offense, they put photos on tackling dummies to gear up. We're the team, we're the bar, we're the team that everybody is gunning for in the AFC, as well as the AFC East especially. So the Jets, this is their Super Bowl. This is the best chance that they have towards the tail end of what has been an abysmal year to show something. And I will say the Jets have been chippy these last few weeks. They've shown that they can go down the field, but I think they're kind of a shadow of what they should be because their quarterback is a shadow of what he used to be. So it's kind of ironic that the team that went out and traded a bunch of picks away for an old quarterback now says, wow, this guy's old. Well, what did you expect? You know what I mean? So it's pretty funny, pretty ridiculous and silly, but so have been the New York Jets my entire lifetime. So all things stay the same. Death, taxes, and the New York Jets letting down their fans. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this one turns out.
There you go.
I would like to say congratulations to Devontae Adams for upgrading his situation because the Raiders only have 3 wins where the Jets have 4. So
yep, good for him.
He backed the right horse on that one.
He made the right choice.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he went from the Raiders losing to the Steelers to the Jets losing to the Steelers in like 5 days. Like he lost the Steelers. That's hilarious.
Pretty awesome.
That's hilarious. Good Lord. That guy's got to get a quarterback. That guy might be Buffalo bound. Who knows?
Hey, I'll take him, not the contract.
Right.
Guys, we have a little thing that we started here in the K-Gun and Sunday Sessions universe with SpaghettiOs as a good luck charm. So I got a couple of guys that sent in their SpaghettiO videos. We're going to start here with my dude, Mr. Corey Blaine. What's up, Corey?
What's up, guys? Happy game day. Got a short little video this week. My sidekick isn't here. She's at grandma's. So, it looks like it's going to be pretty windy and crappy today and wet. I guess big shout out to Eli, kid in the streets. He's going to be in the streets today. He's at the game, I heard. So maybe we'll get a little live video from him or something with Eli's podcast or Eli's winning take later. But I think today, with the wind and the crappy rain and the weather, the key to success, and thank God I just got this in time as a Christmas present, is going to be the defense. We need big turnovers today, big stops. I'm ready to see the defense that's going to be playing in I'm not saying go all out and go crazy hurting yourself now, but I just want to see a little glimpse of, what defense we're going to get in the playoffs. It's big stops, turnovers, 3 and outs, couple interceptions, at least an interception, we'll pick 6 maybe.
Yeah, nothing big.
But I guess maybe I do have a helper today. Oh, you want SpaghettiOs, bud? What do you think the score is going to be? Milo don't care. Oh, but he is a Bills fan. Hold on, Bubba.
There you go.
Oh, so today Bills are going to win 30-21. X Factor's the defense. Go Bills.
Hell yeah, our guy Corey. Uncle James says, Corey, smash a table.
Cheers, Corey. Got mine too.
I realized I did this the second week in a row. No score prediction. I needed to give one. 30-10, Buffalo.
Oh, Jesus. There you go. I'm glad you caught it.
Yep.
All right, we got our boy Patrick Hughes to send in another sketty video for us, too. Here we go.
What's up, FLX Mafia? Breakfast of Champions.
Indeed.
Go Bills.
Hell yeah. All right. Scott, did you give yours?
Yeah.
And Ryan gave yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's me. It's me now.
Yeah.
No video from Eli this week. Hopefully we'll get him next week. We do have the K-Gun confirmed for the week after the first week of the playoffs. Next week. Are you guys doing a show, Scott? You doing on Tuesday? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick was asking too. So there will be a show on Tuesday. It'll at least be Scott and Jerry, maybe myself. I'm still waiting for a couple of things to flush out. So tune in this Tuesday. I'm staying with my score prediction, 35-10. I got the power of the O's in the 10 there. And my X factor today is going to be Greg Rousseau. Let's see Greg get right back to where he was at the beginning of the season.
It's a little power of the O's, eh?
Hell yeah. Little 50, little Groot.
He's 2.5 sacks away from double digits.
There you go. I love it. Let's hit it. He's
He's gonna get it.
So
he's going to get it today.
I love it.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sunday Sessions. We're going to do a little final thought roundtable and get the hell out of here. RT, what do you got for final thought?
Final thoughts. Where else would you rather be right here, right now, watching your Buffalo Bills, whether you're at home or you're at the game, watching the Bills beat down Old Man River, Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Rodgers. Doesn't have the cool sweater, though. He's got the ugly New York Jets, green and white. I hate their new uniforms. I don't like the helmet. I like the old school Joe Willie Namath, whatever his middle name. Was it Joe Willie Namath? I don't know. Joe Namath, Super Bowl III. Those are the only Jets that are worth watching. Go back to black and white film, and that's when you can watch the New York Jets play decent football.
I like it.
Joseph William Namath.
Yeah, Joe Willie. Okay.
Joe Willie.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Chad Pennington was a stud, though, prior to the injuries. I got to throw that in there. Shout out to him. Chad Penny.
He was one of those guys that had that touch pass, almost every pass that found the spot. He was one of the more frustrating, accurate, slow throwing quarterbacks in the NFL. Marshall. He came from Marshall.
Slow roller.
Yep.
All right, hit a Scooter. What do you got for final thought?
Final thought. We didn't have a show last week, so Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas last week, and then obviously a great upcoming New Year from 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, our family to yours. Got this sweet hat. Special shout out to my mother-in-law. Got me this sweet new Bills hat. It's like ice. Yeah, very nice for the. It's convenient for the time of the year. Just have fun. Just have fun. 1 o'clock game. Get your rituals done. Get ready for this 1 o'clock AFC East Division rival game. Let's come out with the number 2 locked. Go Bills.
I like it. Folks, thanks to all 565 of you that have tuned in this morning. You can catch us next week for whenever that game is going to be, for whatever time they decided to play it. Just remember here, we got a good thing going in Buffalo, and don't get too caught up in this MVP bullshit and all this other stuff. Just relax, watch your game, cheer your boys on, have a good time. That's what the season's all about. It's almost over, guys. What the hell? It's almost over. Can't believe it. My wife's going to be so happy. You guys can check us out right here, an hour and a half before kickoff, any game that's going to be from here on out. Also, check out the K-Gun Report every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Buff Fan Base Network, as well as our pages, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, YouTube's, Facebook's, Twitter's, all that stuff. Love you guys. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go.